The nature of social media is really storytelling. It is building those relationships. It's not just here's what I have for sale and here's what I sold. It's a failure on me to recognize that we didn't have that buy-in from the top. So that's a failure on my part, not necessarily all on the store's part, but also on my part.
And they were thinking about you. You made enough of an impression for them to reach back out, even if it was to call you stupid.
Yes.
You still made an impression on them. They remembered you.
And they'll keep talking about you.
Yeah. People are like infatuated with the car business, the behind the scenes, working a deal, showing, if you can be on the phone while you're talking to a bank or talking to a customer. I mean, anything like that, people eat it up. They love this because it's almost like we're like I don't want to say a cult, but we're a business that a lot of people don't understand if you're not in it. They don't get it, but they are like intrigued and they're like, I've always wanted to know how that works.
If social media is a community, we have to be part of the community. We just can't be just the guy that makes the commercials.
Right.
Hey guys, we're getting ready to kick off for everybody who is in here already. I'm going to share my screen here in a moment. But for currently, I want everybody to meet Stephanie Bristow. Stephanie, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do and where you do it?
Sure. So I've been in the car business for 10 years. I've done a little bit of everything, always end up finding my way back to sales. It's just my favorite place to be. I'm social. I love to talk to people. Over the last year, about November of last year, I started getting into social media and building my brand on social media. And it has just kind of taken off from there. I've amassed about 20,000 followers across all of my platforms in just a year. And that's kind of where I'm at. Right now I'm at a Ford store. I'm selling Fords and just doing my TikToks.
I love it. And is TikTok your main platform?
TikTok and Facebook are my main platforms right now. Yes.
We always say, I do a lot of training with Goat for Real. Like we do a lot of joint training where we do stuff and we both have the same, thing. Like you want to get a lot of followers, then you're going to be on TikTok. If you want to sell cars, you're going to be on Facebook.
Correct.
Those are just how those two are used. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Okay, so Stephanie wanted to talk today about bringing relationships instead of social. So I was talking to somebody last night and was talking about things being very transactional at times. And so let's talk about this, about building relationships on social, because and I know both that most of the time we see that salespeople are really good at posting like their vehicles, especially, they like to show all of the different vehicles they have. And I think it's because they don't understand that the nature of social media is really storytelling. It is building those relationships. It's not just here's what I have for sale and here's what I sold. So let's talk about this for just a minute.
Yeah. So I feel like if a customer wanted to buy a car from just, a regular salesperson, they have about 1 million of them at their fingertips at any given moment. I feel like the shift is starting to happen now more, where people want to buy from somebody that they would be friends with in real life, somebody that they could trust, that they feel like, I could go have drinks with her when we leave here, something like that. Yeah. When they feel that, they immediately trust you. And with that trust comes such an easier car buying process. And it's so different. When I post customer photos, I tell a story. I build that relationship with my customers so that I do have a story at the end of that experience to share. And people relate to it so much more. I just posted one Saturday and it got way more interaction and way more comments and way more DMs than just, hey, this is so-and-so with her new Explorer.
Right. Because people think that when they're going through whatever their problems are, whether it's credit or whether it's, I'm nervous about buying a car because I've been messed over in the past or any of those things, they think they're the only ones that feel that way. And so when you can show them, and we always call it the feel felt found, right? That's what, I felt that way too. And so if you relate those stories back to people, then the people who feel like that as well, who had those reservations, who had those same problems, will come out of the woodwork.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. When I post someone and I say, they were nervous that, they've been to 10 different dealerships and they weren't able to get into a vehicle, but I was able to get them not only into a vehicle, but in the vehicle that they wanted. That resonates with so many people who are like, oh, wow, that happened to me. And then that turns into comments, which turn into DMs, which turn into potential customers.
Right. So then why do posts like this work?
Because it stops them from scrolling. That's really all it takes. It takes 5 seconds for them to stop scrolling or scroll and go back and be like, oh, and they're hooked. As long as you can get them in that first 5 seconds, they're going to read the entire thing and they're going to interact with it.
And I love that. I mean, you even related it back to, do your brakes sound like a screaming coyote? And I have to tell you how proud I am for you spelling brakes correctly. If you saw him.
That was actually your girl. That was actually Lacey. Good job, girl.
Good job, Lace. If you saw how many salespeople that would post, they would make it BREAKS.
Yeah,
it's funny. So stopping the thumb scroll is so important, and the Facebook algorithm and the TikTok algorithm both will give you so many benefits if you can stop them for a second. They'll just start pushing you into other feeds of people that you don't even know, just because. Like you've literally stopped their thumb scroll for a minute. Yeah, so why this matters. And so one of the things that we all forget, and I was working with a salesperson that was on my training 2 weeks ago when we talked about the 5-day funnel. On day 5 of the funnel, you have to make a video, like you have to make a video that is a call to action for all of the things that you rolled out to them over the last 4 days. And his first video was all about the dealership. And it was like, hey, and I don't even know if he's on here. He probably is. And he's not going to be embarrassed by this. He's like, hey, so down at blah, 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 blah dealership, we do blah, 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 we do all of these things, right? And I said, no, take that post down. I said, this is about, you told them that you help people with bad credit get approved. That's what the whole 5-day funnel was around. You didn't tell them this dealership is that. You're talking to them one-on-one, just like if you were on FaceTime with them. And it was one person that you're talking to. You're not a commercial. So he did it again, and he did pretty good. He did I most of the time, and then he did a couple of we's in there. And so I said, well, I said, it's better. I said, you still have a couple of we's in there. And they did not interact with we. They interacted with you. So go back. So he edited it one more time. He did the I all the way through and then posted the video, because some people will do business because of the dealership, because who it is. But generally, when we walk into a dealership, we're looking for that person that makes us feel a way already. They've already made us feel a way. So touch on this a little bit.
Absolutely. I totally, and I tell my salespeople here who, ask me on how to, market themselves on social media. It's always about your personal brand. The dealership can be second. It can be you at XYZ dealership, not the dealership that you work at. I mean, even if you have to phrase it as your dealership, this, my pricing, my this, my that, it's all about you. Right. Because at the end of the day, the customer has 27 other Ford dealerships that they can choose from. But what it comes down to is the why. And the why right now in 2025 is you. Right. You are the why.
How do you build that trust?
So many ways. Obviously, the customer experience when they get here is the big thing. As long as you can click to that, then you're good. But building it online, it's being relatable, just being a normal person, being funny, being social, creating stories around your customers, creating stories around maybe deals that fell through and why they fell through and what you felt like you could do differently, things like that. Making it about you, being personal to the customer.
It's funny because I'm making a video this week and I'm kind of green screen it, and it's going to be about a failure with Social Grenade. And it is a client who was on board for 2 months and then churned back out. And when they did, I was a bit surprised because they actually knew I was in Indiana and asked me to come by their store. I went out of the way, went over to see them, visited with them, talked to them about it because they were interested in doing business. And so when they canceled, I reached out to their contact person. I sent her a video, actually. I sent her a video that said, I'm really kind of surprised that you guys are doing this. It seemed like at the time you guys had a buy-in from the top down. You have to understand that anything that you want your salespeople to do, you have to get behind it as well. You have to be the people that believe that this is good for them as well. It has to be that top-down mentality. Mm-hmm. And I said, and if you don't have that buy-in, you're right, you should cancel, because number one, you're going to be paying for a software that nobody's using and nobody's making them use. And second of all, it just makes me look bad. I mean, I appreciate your cancellation, but in the future, like maybe let's wait till we have full buy-in from everybody before we move forward on something. And she emailed me back and I was friendly about it. I was like, and she emailed me back, she goes, you're 100% right. But that's a failure, right? That's a failure on me to recognize that we didn't have that buy-in from the top. So that's a failure on my part, not necessarily all on the store's part, but also on my part, not necessarily all on the store's part, but also on my part. And I'm going to tell that story. It's okay to tell that story, because if I just tell all of the time that I'm winning all the time, that's not the truth. And everybody knows that's not the truth.
People get tired of that. They feel like it's not genuine. It's not authentic.
It's not.
Because nobody's perfect 100% of the time. And if you can show people that you're also not perfect all of the time, it just makes them relate that much more.
Right. And there's times when probably every salesperson here has gone through it where you've worked so hard to get somebody approved and you just couldn't, like the bank, whatever, whether it was your guy that was putting it together, the banks just weren't feeling it or whatever. And then they left your dealership, went somewhere else and got approved and then reached back out to you to let you know, hey, stupid, I'm driving a new car. Yep. You know what? And you have to share those stories too and try my best. But sometimes I can't get everybody done. But I'm so glad when they reach back out to me and let me know that at least they are driving. It makes me feel better.
And they were thinking about you. You made enough of an impression for them to reach back out, even if it was to call you stupid.
Yes.
You still made an impression on them. They remembered you.
And they'll keep talking about you.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So how do you keep those relationships going?
Epic BDC is a proud sponsor of the Social Grenade podcast. Tune in.
I pride myself on my follow-up, and I feel like that's a big open-ended question that a lot of salespeople can't really answer. I do a 24-hour, a 1 week, and then just honestly, really and truly, I build the relationship during the experience to the extent that I am their car person. So when it's time for their first oil change, they call me. If they have an issue with their car, they call me. If they have a friend that's wanting to buy a car, they call me. I mean, that all goes in together. I'm their one-stop shop, right? Like they don't have to worry about my service department. They don't have to worry about getting an oil change. They don't have to worry about anything related to the car, their car and its maintenance other than having my phone number. And that's really what it comes down to. I have thank you cards that I send out, but I get customers. I just had a customer last week, this sweet little couple, they brought me a sweet little card with a note in it and some flowers, like fresh flowers from their garden. And that's the kind of impression that you want to make on people. And if you can make that kind of impression on people during their experience, they're always going to come back to you. If you are the only mode of contact for this dealership, they're always going to reach to you.
And it's funny because everybody who's on here knows that, because these are all Social Grenade users. They know that that's what I preach, that they be the trusted advisor in the car buying process, and that I want them to be my guy, right? Like if I'm buying a car, if my TPS light comes on, I want to message my salesperson and go, why do you think this happened? Why you think all my tires went flat at the same time? And they need to do that. And so we build a lot of stuff into Social Grenade already that helps them be that. So we have service tips and finance tips already built in there.
And I get this a lot from salespeople as well, how they don't want to not that they don't want to be bothered, but they don't want a customer blowing up their phone all the time. It's really actually beneficial for you because in a situation like that, where if they do have a TPMS sensor issue and you go to your service department, you find out that answer so that the next time the next customer has that question, you don't even have to go to your service department now.
Right.
Now they're like, oh my God, like she knows she could change my oil, and you build that much more trust with the customer.
And really,
so it really is a benefit for you to learn these things as well.
Yeah, but if you don't want to be bothered by your customer after the sale, get out of sales.
I agree, but it is out there. They don't want to be blown up, for every little issue. And I'm like, why would you not? That's your person.
Yeah, you have them held hostage. I love it. And then social is your digital first impression. So how many times do people actually reach out to you that you don't even know on social?
At least once a week.
Yeah. Is your Facebook set up as a professional dashboard?
Yes.
Okay. So then go to your, are you on your phone right now or on your computer?
No, it's right here. I can grab it.
Okay. Look and see what your percentage of non-followers is that is engaging with your stuff. No, go to your insights.
Okay.
And insights down, if you'll scroll down to where it says interactions, hit see all.
Okay.
And then where it says how people engage.
Following type.
Yeah. Following type.
It is 66% followers and 34% non-followers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I always strive for that number to be above 30. That's a good number to be at, is that above 30 right there. But that's not just people that are seeing your stuff. That's people that are engaging with your stuff. And so I love that Facebook finally added that. Instagram's had it for a while, but Facebook finally added that, and you can see what percentage of non-followers. And so if everybody that's on here, if you haven't moved to a professional dashboard yet and you need help with that, hit me up. I've created a little video that walks you through, a little screen capture video, but that way you can constantly see how far your reach is going. And like I'm down a little bit right now. I'm up right now for over last month, but like I'm at 27% non-followers. So we'll dig a little deeper on that this month and get those numbers up too. Okay, so let's talk about this screen right here, the shift in sales. Let's talk about this.
So I am actually building from the ground up a new sales training program, and it's focused on the shift in car sales right now. It is this little slide, 100%. The old school way of selling cars doesn't work anymore. The transactional, the word scripts, the scripted word tracks, like all of that stuff is customers are waiting for that these days, whether it be a video that they saw on TikTok or YouTube or whoever, they're waiting on you to sound like a salesperson. You have to change the way that if you don't have the social intelligence and emotional intelligence these days, it's going to be a lot harder than it was back in 2015, because if they can't trust you and they feel like you're just like every other salesperson that they've seen in the last week or talked to in the last week, you're kind of going to be invisible, and you have to find a way to stand out from that.
I agree. And if you're not just posting like from Social Grenade, but if you're not even posting additional stuff that tells people who you are, like I have an 80-20 rule. So 80% of what I do on social is about what I do professionally. If I'm training or I'm speaking or I'm at a dealership visit, like 80% of what I post is about that. It's not salesy. I'm hardly ever salesy at all. And then 20% is about the stupid crap I do. Like whether I like going to see if if they are selling some really top end jeans at Goodwill, like that, like cracks me up. I love that crap. Or if I am messing with the dogs or cleaning the pool or anything that shows like who I am behind the scenes, that's 20% of what I post. 80% is about what I do or showing people behind the scenes what I do or showing them where I'm at the time. So how do you break up your content?
So I was just thinking about that. I think mine's probably closer to 60-40. So I'm a single mom and I have 2 children, and they are just really funny and they have a lot going on. So I do end up posting, a lot about them, but I do try to keep it 60-40 between, I usually share my reels a lot to Facebook from TikTok, which get a lot of views. And then I'll break it up with a story, a sold vehicle post with a story behind it. Obviously tag the customer in it. That's a big thing too that I think a lot of people don't do, which you should be doing now. As soon as you shake hands, get their Facebook, get their Instagram, get wherever you're going to post that picture of them, get their stuff so that you can tag them in it. You get so much more reach that way.
If you have a customer that's just a lot of fun, like when you're working with them, they're a lot of fun and you think they would be really great in a TikTok video, do you ever ask them to do that?
Yeah, I've done multiple videos with customers actually.
And like, is it ever just awkward? And I'm asking that because of the people who are watching here, like I want them to do that as well. If they have something they think.
No, and I could probably get every single customer that I sell a car to do a TikTok with me. And if I asked them, they would 100% be down with it because I'm able to build that relationship with them. But the ones that I've done in the past have been, they were excited about it, like they actually see, especially once they see my TikTok and they see that I have some followers, they're almost like, oh, I want these people to see me too, So they really do actually get into it, and it's not awkward like you would think it would be.
And so everybody's on here. What's your TikTok handle?
It is S.A. Bristow. Actually, I have different ones for every. So I think it's Stephanie. I think it's Stephanie Bristow XO. It is. It's first name, last name, and then XO.
Okay, everybody write that down so you can go see what she's doing.
And honestly, I have a different, because you were so right in the beginning when you said the followers are for TikTok and the car buying is for Facebook. You were so right on that, because my TikTok, I feel like, is more personal. It's obviously, if you go to my TikTok, you know that I sell cars and you're going to laugh and you're going to be like, oh, she's relatable content to the salespeople. The Facebook is more geared toward, this is what I do and this is why I'm good at it and this is why you should buy a car from me. And it does translate more on Facebook.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it's funny because like at first, whenever Sean and I first started training, Sean's all about followers. He's looking like for the salespeople who are looking to be influencers or looking to get brand deals and stuff like that, they have to have that level of follower. Mm-hmm. And for me, I say that's probably less than 5% of people that are at that want that. And the rest of them are really just wanting to, if they can move 3 more cars a month and they can do that because they made a social media show. Why would?
Yeah, because not everybody wants to be an influencer. Not everybody wants their whole life to be on, social media. Some people just want to know how to get those couple extra posts out that stick.
Right. And yeah, that's kind of for me too. Like I don't necessarily like do stuff, and Sean gets the goat gets mad at me all the time. He's like going, look, you got to quit being so salesy. And I don't think I am being salesy. I just always want to relate it back to who I am and what I do, where he's all about entertainment at times. And I'm like, I have 3 businesses I'm running. I'm not here to entertain. If it's entertaining, but can I get a message in there too? That's who I am.
Yeah.
So foundations of relationship selling. Tell us the story.
The I'm a Car Chick podcast is a proud sponsor of the Social Grenade podcast. Listen now.
Okay, so consistency is key, and it is so hard, even for me. Like I said, I've been doing this for a year. I'm still learning every single day. And in this business specifically, consistency is hard in any aspect, right? It's hard to keep an appointment, or whatever, like a doctor's appointment. It's hard to schedule anything, but it is so if you are able to focus and commit 2-3 videos a day for TikTok, it's easy. It takes 15 seconds. If you're doing a viral sound, what I would do is a viral sound and 2 original, but the shorter, the better for TikTok. Obviously, the algorithm pushes it more, so it doesn't have to be long. Short works for TikTok. And you can go out to a vehicle on your lot and get 3 videos done. No lie, in 10 minutes, and have those in the batch to post.
Yeah. And that's the thing, so once you make the shift mentally that, I don't know when you did, but when you make the shift mentally that my life is content,
that's about a year ago.
Yeah. The things that I'm doing, everything that I'm doing is content. And this sounds stupid, but I was out for a walk this morning, and when Stephanie's talking about a trending sound, I will make a video while I'm doing something else. I was out for my morning walk this morning, so I do 2 miles in my neighborhood, and I just think for 20 seconds I just pop. I had no makeup on. My hair looked like rats lived in it, whatever. I had a hoodie on. I don't care. And I just shot 20 seconds of video of just me walking and a profile of my face.
People love that.
Yeah. And I will come back.
Relatable.
Yeah. And I'll come back and I will throw a trending sound on top of it. I'll put some text on top of there that probably takes longer than 7 seconds to read. I'll make that video only be 7 seconds long. And then that's one of my content. That's really how easy it was for me to, find something. And it could be something because I wasn't always looking at the camera when I was walking today, I was shooting it from the side. And if I were a car salesperson, it would be, getting my workout in this morning while thinking about the 3 customers that I have coming in today. And do I have their cars ready? It's really just showing them, this is what I do in the mornings before I come to the dealership, and with some trending sound. Or it could be something motivational if you wanted to put it on there,
something like hustle, in order to get the hustle, you have to be up before the boat, all that, something like that.
And so those are super simple. You don't have to overthink them. And I tell them all the time, go study social media. Don't just go and consume it. Go study it. And which ones did you slow down on? Which one did you actually on TikTok read the entire caption and it looped back around again? And people understand, if you have a 7-second video and it takes me longer than 7 seconds to read it, I'm watching the video twice.
Immediately. Yeah, automatically. And I also think that when a lot of people just get overwhelmed, I feel and they feel everything has to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be perfect. What you were just saying, with no makeup, a hoodie, that's more relatable, because 90% of the people who just watch that at 7 o'clock in the morning are wearing the exact same thing that you're wearing. Mm-hmm. So that makes you immediately feel like one of me, right? You feel like me. I can relate to you because, that's how I look in the morning too. And it can be just that, literally just walking down the street, record 7 seconds of just your feet walking and then put some text over it. It does not have to be anything big or elaborate. You don't even have to talk if you don't want to, if you're not comfortable at first. And also just seeing what works for you. It's trial and error, right? So I have found that people on TikTok love to argue or talk or debate car payments. So that's a big thing. I mean, if you can have a video with your opinion on car payments, I promise it will go at least semi-viral, because people love to discuss that. You'll have people in the comments.
Yeah, Shasta had one that did that. She posted something about her car payment because they traded it. Well, you'd have to know, first of all, Shasta was for a long time addicted to buying cars. It was freaking have it, like to the point where I called one of the dealerships that she always bought her car from, and I said, I swear, if you guys sell her another car, I will not verify her employment. I will not. So don't do it. So she was upside down in 2 vehicles, and her husband is a law enforcement officer and has a cruiser. And so they traded in 2 vehicles that they were upside down in, that they had carried negative equity over into a Sorrento. And so her payment's a little bit high, but when she did, like, the payment is lower than what they had on the 2 car payments anyways. So although it seemed outrageous to what her payment was, so there was like this big debate. People were just like, oh no, you must have horrible credit if your payment was that high, blah, 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 blah. And so you're 100% right. Like, arguing over the car payment is amazing. And then those people that have really low ones, they're like super proud to be like, yeah, my car payment's $185. I put like $10,000 down, had a good trade, had blah, blah, blah. So any of those. And so if you could share your personal story of, hey, this is what I drive and this is what my car payment is. I want to know what your car payment is too. Drop it down below.
But in here too. So I shared that same graphic, and I don't have any auto people on my page. And I shared that same graphic that asked, what is your car payment? And I had over 100 comments by the end of the day.
Yeah. And she doesn't have any auto people that follow her. Not like us, like everybody we have.
No, yeah. I mean, they love to discuss it. And really what I found works too is people are like infatuated with the car business, the behind the scenes, working a deal, showing, if you can be on the phone while you're talking to a bank or talking to a customer. I mean, anything like that, people eat it up. They love this because it's almost like we're like I don't want to say a cult, but we're a business that a lot of people don't understand. If you're not in it, they don't get it, but they are like intrigued and they're like, I've always wanted to know how that works.
Right. And the cool thing about that is too, so then that isn't you having to create content. That is just, as Gary Vaynerchuk says, documenting your day.
Yep.
Just document your day. At your day, there will be interesting points in your day all day long. Yes. So document those. And like, that's one of the things that, like, you'll see people like, Bins and Bow Ties. He started like literally just setting up his phone behind his computer. Goat for Real did the same thing. He would be sitting at the desk penciling deals, and salespeople are coming up and they're going, hey, this is what I got. This is what I got. Da, 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 da. Okay, as a consumer, I've always wondered what the crap they're talking about at the tower. I think they're up there conspiring against me. So if I can see that the manager behind the desk is literally looking in the computer to go, what is their trade? Okay, I think I can get them this for that. Can they move this to right here? And that pushes them to the payment they want to be. If they knew that all that was a center for people advocating to get their car deal done, not to screw them over, that's some good content. And that's really just capturing your day, right?
And if you're a salesperson, that's building trust.
Yes, for sure. And then, and not just like that part of it, but like when you're on the phone making your dials for the day, set your phone up, because you're dialing off the dealership's phone, set your phone up and record you calling your customers and following up with them. Like that's just capturing your content for the day.
Yep.
So that's showing up consistently. It's not as hard as we make it be. So the next one, share personal and business content.
Which I think we talked about, your 20-80, 40-60, whatever rule. You can't just post all of one or the other. You have to find a way to break it. I think it's different for everybody, but
I know we talked about it, but I'm telling you, I'm in dealerships every week. And the one thing is, they're like, I'm not going to share anything about myself personally. And I'm like, why would I buy a car from you? I don't know who you are. I don't know anything about you. I don't know if you're my tribe of people. I don't know if we even align anywhere. And it's not.
That goes back to the shift too of how people are buying cars for different reasons now. They're not buying it because of the price. They already know the price.
Yeah.
They're buying it because they like you at this point.
So what do you think the mix is of how much like that you actually, I know you're 60-40, but like how many posts do you make a week on Facebook?
Usually if I'm, locked in, I try to do at least one a day, whether it be a reel or just a status of, something funny that my kid said or a post of them. I try to go back and forth, right? Do this one day, this one day, this. And your analytics will help tell you too, like, hey, your text posts, they really hit on these days at these times. And again, it's trial and error and it's seeing what works for you and then just building on that. So, repetition is okay. If you find that the car payment thing works for you on TikTok, keep finding ways to incorporate car payments into your TikToks, and it will just build from there. Same thing with Facebook. If you get more DMs after a post of a customer sold car that had a storytelling, in it, do more of those because that's working. So why would you stop doing that? You would do that more.
Right, right. And then engage, don't just broadcast.
Yes.
Because that word is so important, broadcast.
I think it was one of your training things that I'd seen that says, wait 30 seconds or 3 minutes before you post something. Engage first because it like warms up. I believe that's so true. And not just liking or reposting something, but commenting and actually giving your opinion or your congratulations or showing, genuine excitement on things. It really does stick out to people. And if nothing else, your name pops up in their notifications that day, and boom, you're on their mind again.
Yep, I agree. And if social media is a community, we have to be part of the community. We just can't be just the guy that makes the commercials.
Right.
Ooh, let's talk about your pillars here.
Yes. So the relatable pillar, I think, is pretty well for most people, especially salespeople who are, social animals anyway. The relatable ones should be easy. Again, it's the behind the scenes that we talked about, the talking to the customer on the phone, being at the sales desk while you're working a deal, those kind of things. Funny little reels that you do from TikTok that you share to Facebook. Those are the relatable things. And then the helpful ones, I really like the helpful ones. I've been doing this for 10 years. So I did one a little while back on Facebook about how to jumpstart your car. And what I found was there are so many 18 to 25-year-olds that have no freaking clue how to, they would have called roadside assistance or their mom or their dad.
Right.
They don't know how to do those things. And it's something that's so simple that you can shut 30 seconds how to jumpstart a car. And to us, it sounds crazy, but to them, they're like, oh, I needed this.
Yeah. And the thing, it's funny because I bought, everybody knows I bought a FJ Cruiser this year. I bought a 2014 FJ Cruiser. And so I have a little kit in the back and I picked it up, I think at NI80. It was one of the swag things they were giving away. And it had a small set of jumper cables in there too. And I was like, oh, that was a cool thing to put in a swag set at NADA. But if not, then you need to have a little bag in the back of your vehicle that has a couple of things in it, that may be jumper cables, because you can't trust that anybody wherever you're at has them as well. So, there's no reason not to. If you think about, especially coming into the winter months.
And I even had a jump box that I bought off of Amazon,
awesome.
$50. So
yeah, have those
something that small.
And showing how to do that is so brilliant, Stephanie, because we all think everybody knows how. If we know how, we think everybody else
knows. Right. That's what we think. It's so simple, but not everybody.
They may not even know where their damn battery is. They may not have even, the only time that hood is up is when they go get their oil change. So in the wintertime, whenever there's more of a drag on your battery to turn that vehicle over, if you're in a cold state, that may be something that you need to know. So great tutorial. That's great content.
Epic BDC is a proud sponsor of the Social Grenade podcast. Tune in.
Well, moving into fall and winter, there's hundreds of ways that you can post those kind of little quick tip videos, like how to prepare your car for colder months.
Right. And even the tricks of putting the bags over your windshield wipers, right? So they don't get stuck to your windshield. There's things like that are coming up, and do it before it gets those icy times. Keep these in your door of your car right here so that whenever you go to work, because we forget, we just go to work, we get out of our car and we go in, and we're in a building all day long and we don't know that it's been icing all day long, right? So get out there, put those on there. Those are great tips for people, and they're valuable, and they set you up to be that trusted advisor again.
Right. And then the proof. Now, I have a 4 to 5 question, depending on how much time I have, testimonial prompt basically for customers. And I can share that if I need to, but it's questions like, did you enjoy your experience today? What was your favorite part of the experience today? Have you ever had to buy a car again? Who would you buy it from? Those little things. Customers, I promise you, do not mind. It's almost like leaving you a review, but in real time. So I'm 100% pro customer testimonials after they buy the car, before you let them go. But, and also just posting your wins, hey, I really thought that I couldn't get this customer, into a car today, but we did it. Or, even if it's just like a picture of you shaking hands while you're giving them the keys, something right. Like a picture like that, something, and then you build a story around that picture.
I love it.
There's so many ways that you are.
I think that, so on the customer testimonials, do you video those?
Yes.
And so they're like, yes, I'm glad. I'll be glad to do that.
Yes, they are. And not all of them, they're not always like, I have a digital photo frame at my desk. And that's where I put all of those because they're not always comfortable with them going on social media.
Right.
Some of them don't care. But I usually tell them like, it's just going to go right here and then they're fine with it. But a lot of them, you would be surprised. They don't mind if you share it on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram.
What a great idea, the digital photo frame on your desk, because as you have people sitting there, you're building trust.
Yes.
Wow. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay. So let's talk about your engagement formula.
Yes. So you always on TikTok, they call it from the bottom up: repost, favorite, comment, like, follow. Same thing with Facebook though. You just go left to right. If you like it and you comment on it and you share it, you don't even have to necessarily repost everything. But if you like it and comment on it, that's enough to show the algorithm that like, hey, they're not just coming over here and posting something and ghosting. We call it posting and ghosting. They're not doing that. They're actually engaging with people before they post. And I do feel like it does something to the algorithm.
Do you ask them to do that? Like when you're on a TikTok, do you go, hey, hit over here right now and do from the bottom up? Do you ask them on your video to do it?
I don't. I probably should. It's probably more of a call to action. But for me, I will say follow me, but I don't do I don't tell them to do from the bottom up.
Yeah. I think a lot of times too, like it doesn't offend me when people ask for that. There's sometimes I don't do it, but like, I think that the clients, the customers, the public really kind of need some direction sometimes to know what you want them to do. And you just be like, hey, if you're enjoying my content, I
have that soft CTA. Like, hey, if you want to learn more, follow me. And it is. I do feel like a lot of people do feel awkward like that, like they're selling themselves. But you are 100% right. They don't know what to do, right? They like the content, but then they don't know what else to do with it unless you tell them.
And like even I was thinking like on that battery jumping video, you know what? Like a CTA at the end of that could be, what other things would you like me to make videos about? I'll be glad to do tutorials on any of this stuff. Just drop me a DM below, blah blah blah, and follow for more. And
people love to do that too. Like I get people all the time. I mean, I'm at least 2 to 3 times a week that will send me videos on TikTok and they'll be like, I need you to do this.
Yeah.
Or can you talk about this? Like, so as you build your audience and you build your people and your tribe, they will tell you what they want. Like they'll let you know like, hey, we want you to do this or we want you to do that. A lot of the content that I post is, from people who have told me you should do this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? They're right.
And I was thinking about you, Lacey, because like Lacey has been in the automotive world, not in sales or anything, but like some tips that you could do, Lacey, that would be like, hey, all my women friends out there or whatever, I thought I would show you how to do XYZ this week. I'm making you a video on, how to check this or do that.
Would be really helpful because a lot of women, especially my age and younger, don't know how to do those things. And because I had my father, I was taught I don't need a man to teach me how to change my tire on the side of the road or fix my oil, Yeah.
I love it. And then respond quickly and keep it human. So huge, so huge.
Yes. Responding to comments is a big thing. And especially on TikTok, for good or bad, I am responding to every single comment. Right. If it's rude, I'm responding. If it's nice, I'm responding. If it's, neither, I'm responding because that shows the algorithm, hey, there's people interested in this video. So responding as soon as you can is definitely important. Always responding, period, is probably the most important part.
I was watching something the other day. I don't know where because I just consume all the time, but like quickly, right? So when you make that post and that your post generally within the first 10 minutes or whatever stay there with it so that when they respond, you reply right back. When they comment, you reply right back so that you're staying with that. And it helps get it. So with TikTok, especially fast and early, like right, as fast as you can and early as you can in the video, instead of posting it, walking around and coming back and see how it did, stick there with it for just a few minutes, set yourself a timer in 5 minutes, go back and check that thing again, and then be responding back because they're really big about not just how many people viewed it, but how fast also. Yes. So you want to be right there on it.
I agree.
And then every comment is a potential handshake. It is actually a handshake.
It is. It truly is. I mean, if they took the time to comment, even though it doesn't take a lot of time, that shows you that there is genuine interest there. Because I usually, if I take myself out of this version of me, I don't really comment on anything unless I'm genuinely interested in it. Right. So if I see something that I really relate to, then I'm going to comment. So if they took the time to comment on your post, that's big. And there are ways to take that and respond, and without sounding salesy, or depending on what the video is, without sounding like you're trying to get them to buy a car. But there are ways to respond to those comments that lead to DM conversations.
Right. I agree. I love all of this. And then turning likes into leads.
So I get that. I see this all the time from salespeople on social media, where it's like, oh, so-and-so sold 3 cars today. Who's next? Somebody come buy a car from me. We have deals this week, 0% financing. Come buy a car. I don't care. Like you sound like the commercial that I just heard for the brand on TV.
Right.
I don't want to buy a car from you.
Right. Exactly.
Whereas if you're using some of this stuff, like, hey, so my friend Casey just came in and she didn't think she could get approved for a car, but I ended up getting her into the car of her dreams. And look how happy she is in this, in this picture. You can tell how happy she is. And that is going to stop. That's going to stop the scroll. They're going to be like, oh, whether they know her or they know me, or they saw, hey, she didn't think she could get approved for a car, whatever it is that they see to stop them, it's going to stop them from scrolling. And that's the big, you don't want to sound cheesy. You don't want to sound like every other salesperson out there. You want to sound like yourself. And it really is just about finding what works for you and making it you, so it feels natural. Because when it feels natural, then it feels natural to the customers too.
Right. And I think most customers, like the customers that are eligible for, whatever it is, 0% APR, they're really not
everybody, and they're probably not on social media, and they are probably not on mine.
Yeah, and on top of that, they're not going to be persuaded to come buy a car because you said you have 0% APR. They're going to come in, and if you have 1.9% APR, they're going to tell you they want 0% and make you go find it. Mm-hmm. That's what's going to happen. So doing those things really is for like the 0.5% of people that may see your content. The rest of them live in I need a transportation solution.
Yep, they sure do.
So I like the call to action. DM me if you want me to run numbers before you waste time at the store, because that's one of the things, if you talk to just about anybody who's bought a car in the last 5 years, the 4 hours out of dealership are brutal. So how much can you get out of the way ahead of time by working through social, right? By like going, hey, let's talk about this. I'm going to walk you through here. Let's get all of this stuff out of the way. When you come in, now it's just, I have 2 vehicles for you to choose from. Pick one of the 2. And
yeah, it really does make your job easier once the customer is in front of you. Right. And I feel like more than...
The I'm a Car Chick podcast is a proud sponsor of the Social Grenade podcast. Listen now.
Social media, I feel like a lot of people, that's where they struggle, is when like some people are really good on social media and then the customer gets in and they're like, oh, now what? But it makes it so much easier if you've already talked to them and you kind of know everything ahead of time, because you were able to find them on social media and just have those friend conversations. Like if they can talk to you like you're their friend, you will find out so much more than if they think it's just a transaction where you don't really, you're just trying to get paid.
Right, for sure. And they can smell it a mile away, just like people can smell out AI right now. They can smell out a car salesperson who is not relational selling. So let's talk about a weekly action plan for everybody that's on the call right now.
All right. So 4 posts a week. I try to do at least 3 to 4. So I think it's right on there. I think that's perfect. The 2 value, 1 engagement, 1 personal. So the 2 value posts, I guess, for examples, would be just your win, your sold car, customer with the story on it, or a customer testimonial. If you can do one of those this week, I can give you guys a script. I can send it to you after we get done for a quick little 5-question, 30-second video to post of your customers. And you'll be very surprised how much people actually interact with that, because it is proof, this real life proof that like, hey, I'm not just saying I know what I'm talking about. Listen to them. They can tell you. So there's 2 right there. Engagement would just be If the viral sound I was talking about earlier, if you can find, something funny, something relatable, a funny story, a funny video, a funny picture, just, something that will just drive engagement. And then one personal, which is your family life, your dogs, your cats, your kids, your mom, your dad, something that tells them that you are actually human and you're not just like some metal slinging monster machine.
It's funny. I was thinking, one of my favorite sounds is the kind of snickering, giggling one, that's, and they're laughing. And I think like it would be so awesome to just do that one. And like, if you just recorded yourself with just sitting there with this kind of confused look on your face, and then you pan to your customer who's holding their keys, and the laugh is like going, yeah, everybody else in town told them they couldn't drive away in a new car.
Yeah.
And that's just the text that goes on top, and you and your customer don't even have to say anything. It's just that. It's just panning.
Well, one of the ones that I did was it was a song, and she had just finished buying the car, and I was like, hey, enjoy your new vehicle, and she was like, thanks, you too, and I was like, me too. And then it pans to pictures of us in the car, right? Like I'm in the passenger seat, she's in the driver's seat, and then after that, she's like, okay, thank you so much, have a great day at work, and I'm like, thanks, you too, and then it pans to pictures of her at the key box with me and at my desk trying to answer phones with the cord wrapped around her neck, like things like that. Those are funny, and it got so much engagement, especially on Facebook. So just little things like that, and you would be surprised how much your customers really would. I mean, everybody's on social media these days. Nobody, and if they say they're not, they're lying. So they it's really not as taboo as it would have been 10 years ago to be like, hey, will you be on my TikTok?
Yeah, my husband will tell you, oh, I'm never on social media. I don't do social media, right? But I was talking to him last night because he's working out of state right now. And he goes, I see that you went for a walk this morning with your weighted vest on. And I'm like, where did I post that? I mean, I posted it somewhere. Like, I didn't like just send him that picture. And I'm like, he's a liar. He is too on social media. He's tracking me.
Yes, even if they're not posting on social media, they're watching. So yeah, at the very least.
And one of the things too, this last one on here, track convos and move to DMs. So I always advise this as well. So as soon as the conversation starts being more than it needs to be public, I always tell the person, because we may not be friends yet, and if you just DM them, it's going to go into their other folder. Mm-hmm. So if you will tell them, hey, I'm going to send you a message right now. Let's talk about this over there. One, it tells the rest of your customers that you respect the fact that you're probably getting ready to have a private conversation and you don't need to have it in front of everybody. But it also tells that customer, go find my message.
Right.
Because if we're not connected, you kind of need to tell them that. And that way that you can have that conversation in private. You can ask them, what do you think your credit score is? What do you think that you own your vehicle? Blah, blah, blah. You can ask them a bunch of stuff that you don't need to be asking
right
on public in front of everyone else. So I love the move to DMs.
Yeah, I think because a lot of people will comment on some of my posts, especially like the credit ones, and be like, well, what credit score do I need for, to buy a car? And that's when I'll do that. Like, hey, I'm about to send you a message, and then we can chat about it more. Right. And they're open. They're always open to that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they want to know, and they'd rather do it in Messenger with you or in DMs with you than face to face, where you may give them a look of shame and they may feel right. They're braver on the keyboard. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go over your key takeaways, which are consistency, visibility, and trust. And I know we've hammered it home, but consistency is like, you know what? You have to feed your dog every day. You also have to feed your social media.
Yes, I agree. You have to do it. And I know, like I said, take your lunch break, take a 10-minute break. I mean, you do not need a whole entire day to do content. And don't overthink it to the point where you think it has to be perfect. Just post it. Yep. It does not. The less perfect, the better, because the less perfect, the more relatable.
When I have time, I batch post. So for TikTok, because I know I want to post at least once a day on TikTok, and so like if I have a Saturday or a Sunday, and I'm like I've already made notes of the things I want to do, I will set an hour aside, and I'll create all of those and save them into my drafts. And so then all I have to do on Monday is go hit post. I even write the captions then. I do everything then. Yep. I have it all ready to go.
I do the same thing. When I batch, I batch with captions and everything. So it's just ready to go.
And the cool thing with all the people that are on here that are using Social Grenade, like it's all done for you. It's sitting in the app and it takes you less than 17 seconds to post. And I don't even know what time it is in everybody's world, but you guys have probably already gotten your text message today telling you, hey, today, go into the service tips and make a post today. So I've reminded you, I've created the content for you. All you have to do is hit post and edit it if you want to put a CTA in there for them to call you. So how easy is that? So your consistency, if you're a social grenade person, really should not be lacking. So visibility, though, if you're not posting, you are invisible.
Absolutely invisible. And if you're not posting relatable content, you're probably still invisible, like you're doing the work, right? But you're still invisible. So again, don't be perfect. Don't try to reach for perfection. Don't read a script. Don't sound robotic. Just be yourself. That's really all it takes. And I promise that's what the people want to see.
Okay, and then trust leads to sales. We all know that because even though we are salespeople, we're also consumers. And so I don't buy anything until I trust that it's the right thing that I need and it's the right person I should buy it from.
Yes, I just said this actually in one of my TikToks the other day. Customers that are coming in now in 2025, they have everything they need already. They know the price. They know the car. They know what could go wrong with the car and they know all of that stuff already. What they don't know is who they should trust. And that's where you come in and you have to, be that person and show them why you're that person.
Right. So next steps for everybody that's on here, like just committing to 30 days of posting, I would probably get a paper calendar or some version of something that you can help see that you track your success, right? And then talk about sharing the wins with your manager.
Yes. So anytime you have a customer that you have an objection that you overcame and you close the deal and you want to post, I really feel like a lot of times those posts, you should tag your managers in those posts because again, not only does it show your people, but it also shows their people that you won. So, and a lot of times with sales managers, depending on the dealership, they have a lot of car buying customers on their pages. So it really does help to draw in their audience along.
And you didn't get there alone, right? Like you go, right. Oh, I got this deal done. No, you didn't. The detail guy did, the finance guy did, the manager helped do it. There were so many other people. So I've never heard anybody say this before, like to tag your manager in there. I think it's a great idea because seriously, if the general public knew how hard it was for them to like get the right deal for that customer and how hard they search through and find the right little matrix of perfection to get this deal done sometimes. And sometimes they have to draw on a relationship. Sometimes they have to pick up the phone and call a buyer at Ally and go, look, this is a great deal. I know it doesn't look like it on the surface, but here's how I feel about it. And then they can get the deal done based on their relationship. So I love that a lot. And then the next one.
Yes. Stay engaged.
Yes.
I have joined the Social Grenade Facebook group too, so I'm excited to see.
Yes. And then Stephanie, I put your email on here. So if they want to reach out to you, if they Absolutely. Have questions that we didn't talk about, and we recorded this, so this will be in the Social Grenade group as well. If they have more questions or if they want your checklist for the after you sell the car. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for the reviews.
And I'm also, again, like I said, I'm building a program right now that helps with the new sales process for 2025. So again, if they need any help with the selling part, because we can be good on social media, all day, but once you get in there, once they're here in front of you, you still have to know what to say. And that's kind of what I'm trying to build on right now. So if they need any help or pointers in that area, I'm happy to help.
I love that too, and I'll tell you why. So Sean Payne, Goat for Real, and I were talking about the fact that there's some social media trainers out there, and I think one of them just made a video yesterday that was like, "Look, we weren't the greatest salespeople, so we don't train on sales. We just train on social." And I'm like, dude, you need both sides of that coin. Yeah. Like you're asking top dollar for 2 days in a dealership and you have no sales training built into that whatsoever, because anytime like Goat and I go do training, like we're training on sales and social media because they're hand in hand. This has to relate what they experience online. They need to have some fluidity when they get to the dealership. Correct. Has to look like you know what you're doing. You have to be really good at that too. So guys, write down her email right there, womenwhosellcars23@gmail.com. Reach out to her. And if you want to go into Social Grenade group and tag her in there too, if you have questions, I'm sure she'll be glad to answer them. But Stephanie, I thank you so much for taking your time to speak to our team. I know that every little bit of help that they can get right now is amazing for them. And I'm grateful, and I know they are too.
Well, I was so happy to do it. You guys have been awesome, and I kind of learned some things too. So I hope we all learned some things today.
I learn every day, so that's the good part of this. So
Amen
thank you.
to that.
Everybody have a good day. Go tackle this week, and let's wrap up this month strong.
All right. Good luck, guys. Have a good day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.